Hello everyone, just Lee again here, and I hope you're having a nice day. So I want to talk a little bit more about the COVID situation, and there's a few things that have cropped up in my consciousness that I don't think the world's fully aware of yet, because there's a lot of people following conformity now on a scale that I've never seen before in my whole life, okay? Everywhere I look, there's people in masks. It's very, very rare I see someone who's either refusing to wear a mask or not wearing one because they've got a specific exemption for one. Now, I looked on the government website, and all it says is if you're exempt from wearing a mask, you don't even have to show any form of proof. Okay, you just need to say I'm exempt, and that's it. They don't need to ask for any proof. You don't need a medical certificate from your doctor, anything like that. Well, that's the situation here in the UK. I don't know about America or where you live, but in the UK at the moment, that's the situation. But still, I don't see anybody not wearing a mask, okay? I personally think it should be a choice, but that's just my opinion. But the level of conformity is actually more scary to me than the virus itself, if it's real, okay? And there's a lot of speculation about whether it's real or not, because when you look at the statistics, the overall death rate for the COVID virus is a very tiny proportion of the overall death rate of everything else in the world. And one thing I noticed is I was in a meeting the other day, and before the meeting started, we had to watch literally 1 hour of videos just about COVID and just about the protection methods that they're using for this virus. And it involved things like mist sprays that go in underneath tables everywhere, and it involved the wearing of the masks, conformity, things like that. And what suddenly dawned on us here is this COVID situation and the protection methods we're using is not just going to kill COVID, it's going to kill all viruses, okay? Like, maybe it's not all, but most, okay? It's going to kill most viruses because of these methods. Now, I don't think the government or the powers that be realise this, okay? Because if it is to try and control us more, then what they don't realise is that if this kills all viruses, they're going to end up probably worse off than what they would if it didn't. Because think about it, if this cures the common cold, that might become extinct. The normal flu might become extinct, which is classed as COVID now. You have to remember that, because this is why the figures are so high, because they're classing almost every kind of cold or flu symptom now as COVID, even though it isn't. But imagine if these were kind of became extinct, then a lot of us wouldn't get ill. And because we're not getting ill, we'll not have the doctors giving us all this medication, etc., etc., the flu jabs, this and that. And the drugs companies are not going to make as much money. So I'm surprised the drugs companies haven't realised this, and they're stepping in with countermeasures for this, because this is going to backfire on the governments and the powers that be, because they don't realise what they're doing here, because every action has an exact opposite reaction, you see, and they don't realise that the reaction this is going to cause. Now, the reason I think this is because obviously, if we continue wearing the masks and using the face, the sprays, and all these measures, it's going to kill a lot of viruses, okay? This might not be a good thing, because the macrocosm depends on the microcosm, okay? So every virus is here for a reason, and that's why we've developed our immune systems to a state where we can deal with all these viruses. This is how we're so healthy as humans at the moment, and this is why we're the most dominant race, because our immune systems have learned to deal with all these viruses. If you get rid of the viruses, yes, the immune system might not need to create the antibodies anymore to fight the viruses, but then the immune system will become weaker. So if there's any kind of new viruses in the future, we're going to be a lot weaker for that, you see. So this is another bad thing about this. But the good thing is that we can cure a lot of viruses, possibly, or they'll become extinct. Another thing I've noticed here regarding this COVID situation is the level of conformity is quite shocking to me, okay? Everybody's walking around like robots, just doing what they're told to do, okay? They're not really thinking from outside the box. They're not really thinking for themselves. And what I think's happening here is that the powers that be have realised, okay? They've realised that a lot of humans are now waking up, okay? We're waking up to the control systems. We're waking up to go against these control systems. And I think what they've realized is these people who are already awake, there's nothing they can do about that, okay? We're going to walk around, we're going to refuse to wear a mask if we don't want to, because we're more free than the normal people out there. And they've realized they're never going to change the awakened people, okay? So what I think they're doing here is they're instilling more conformity into the people who are not yet awake. And what happens when they instill more conformity into those people is that it's harder for them to listen to the awakened people, so that they become awakened as well. Because everybody leads by example when it comes to spiritual evolution. You only learn by other people, and if other people see somebody else not conforming, they might think, oh, maybe we shouldn't conform, you see? So I think the governments are instilling conformity in them to a point so much that they'll never ever change. So the governments know that once people have reached this form of conformity, they'll never be changed by the awakened people. They'll never come on and watch videos like this, for instance, or all the other awakening videos on YouTube at the moment. So I think that's the general idea that they've got, if this is a conspiracy. I'm not saying it is, but everything I've seen and the way I've worked it out, I think it possibly is. But that's your decision to make. It's not mine. I'm just telling you my version of events here. But I'd like to know your opinion on that, guys, and what you think about all the conformity, and whether you think it's right or not. And here in the UK, the governments are coming on the news, which I don't watch, but I hear about it, and apparently they're saying the COVID-19 virus is starting to peak again. It's starting to go up. But of course that's the case, because they've brought in all these testing kits, which is testing positive for COVID, but we don't even know if it's COVID it's testing, you see. There's a lot of conspiracy out there saying it's not actually COVID. And David Icke mentioned this on his videos, and he had his channel removed from YouTube. So not only are they trying to instill conformity, they're also taking away our freedom of speech, and they're also taking away our freedom to socialize, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things that are way worse than what an actual virus could be, okay? There's a lot of things that are far more worse. If we follow these levels of conformity, it's going to make life far worse in the future than what a virus now would ever cause, okay? So having said that, this could be, if this is the case, it could be the universe regulating itself. It could be the universe realizing that the population's getting too big, and it's creating all these things to actually eradicate people. That's not a very nice thing to say, but that's sometimes how the universe works, because the universe is specifically designed for evolution and love. And if we're going to kill ourselves because of the population increase, the universe will sometimes intervene, bring in a virus which can kill people. So that's a situation if it is real. But personally, I don't think it is what the governments are telling us it is. And I think the conformity we're following at the moment is far more dangerous for human race in general than the virus would be or would have ever been. Okay, so that's just my opinion, guys. Let us know your opinion in the comments. That's it for this video. So you have a nice day, and I'll be back shortly with another video. Bye bye now.